Great, and you have a lot of tools. So Neil Goldman says after the 90-day free trial, what's the monthly cost for broker?
So hi Neil. The unlimited subscription for brokers is $129. And then if you're a new broker, and I don't think I've met you yet, Neil, then you can also do a per assessment, and it's $45.
Okay, and then Jim Gleason has a really good question, Rebecca. He asked, is there a way to use SpotOn for Azure that's not in your system? For example, are there things that they can look at to try to make it work with, reasonable accuracy?
So, you know what? I've had that question before, Jim. Is there a way that, let's say, they fit with Care Patrol or Amada Senior Care or some other? Could we then also look at that same kind of elder care construction vertical? And the answer is, it's a huge leap. It's a difficult challenge because we truly believe every franchise system is unique. So what they may sell may be similar, but the business model will be different. The culture will be different. The marketing strategies will be different. The stage of growth of that franchisor are different. However, as you and Jim, you've been around assessments longer than I have, I believe, as I believe you had a background in HR and been brokering for a long time. So you know that there are some leaps we can make, especially cultural leaps that we can make, that if a prospective franchisee fits within a create culture, as an example, we can make some mental leaps if that certain franchise systems are create cultures, if they're high tech, they're innovative, they're trendy, they're sexy. So we can make certain mental leaps. But I would caution you that the leaps aren't too large. I don't know how better to say it than that.
That's, well, very, very tactful. Yeah, good. Yeah, we want to be accurate as best as we can, obviously, but also, there's definitely a lot of needs out there, to be able to compare when maybe they've got a client that's looking at a specific brand, and then you've got maybe reports on two others and how to compare that. So good answer, Rebecca. Thank you. David Whalen says, I guess with BrandServe, they can do one-off contracts. So he's wondering, could the Azores that they have, can they all show up in the system regardless if they're from BrandServe, FBA, or whoever? He states, are paying medical. They have access to all of them, especially since they can do one-off contracts.
Yes. So currently you have access to anything we have. It is not being sliced and diced at this time based on which broker firm you are with. So right now, if it's not in your inventory, you will still see it. You will still see it. Now you may choose to negotiate and do a one-off deal, or you may choose to go to David Craighead or Alicia and say, you know what, we need to bring these folks on board, or you may choose to pass that particular company up, but you will have access to anything that we have done research on.
Oh, great, Rebecca. Larry Hernandez says, remind us about easy the process is to forward the profile to Azure.
To forward, is that was the question?
Yes, to forward the profile to a franchisor.
So you can, if you don't want to register, the minute you hit register, so let's say you wanted to register with Teriyaki here, the minute you hit it, it is automatically forwarded. If they accept it, it's automatically populated into their dashboard, and they also have links to the individual reports, and they also get PDF copies. Now let's assume you don't want to register, and I'm assuming that's what the question is. Then what you can do is you can go to your SpotOn report, and you can scroll down here and you can actually send, I hope you're seeing this, down in the lower right hand corner there's a send
We are.
button. So you can either send it, which then brings up a place where you can send the email to whoever you want. So in this case, if you wanted to send it to ABC franchisor and you have his or her email address, you can send whatever report you want and a note to them, and it comes directly from you from the system. Option 2, as you know, is just to download the PDF, save it, and attach it to your own email. So you can either register and it's automatically done. Now, I should let you know, and this is not a big issue, but just something for you to know. If you forward it and you don't use the registration link, the franchisor will have to notify us, and then we will manually move the data over so they can then see the Eclipse reports. So it's an extra step, but if there's registration issues with your company, it solves that registration problem.
Great, thanks, Rebecca. And we had the same question. Yes, the question was, you have 150 stores and counting. Do I have access to all of them? Yes, you do. And then Pamela asked, great tool and presentation, Rebecca. So as a consultant, are the 5 matches received with doors that actually have territory availability? So again, I guess they're wondering if that, this is a great match, and is that zip code matched up? Is there territory available? I know that's another step in another algorithm. And it sounds like, I think that would probably be something very difficult to manage when there's so many active leads usually going into a system.
Yeah.
But no, good question.
Good, yeah, good question. So it is a psychographic assessment. It does not sort based on investment range. It does not sort based on territory. It does not sort based on category or interest. Those will be things that you will have to sort for on your own. At this point, it's not part of the system. It is strictly a psychographic assessment.
Right, and Pamela follows up, or do we do the territory check post the matching, which means we may only get 2 of the 5 doors being a match. And Pamela, as it is such a real-time process with franchisors, doing territory checks, by the day, lead registrations by the day, by the hour. But Rebecca, if you want to further answer that one.
So no, I think you answered it perfectly, Holly. Yeah, it's something that, and this, to me, that's part of the reason I love this match, is what brokers used to have to deal with 20 years ago is not what you guys are dealing with. You guys are dealing with so many moving parts and so many companies and so many changes and investment companies buying out franchise companies. I mean, things are changing every single day. So we're hoping, at least with this tool, we slim down the amount of research time that you have, but you're still going to have to do territory checks, and you're still going to have to do some of those other components.
Right. Well, Bill has, I think, an excellent question, and it may be too soon for you to have this data, but he's asking, do you have an example of a franchise system that has embraced this tool and is having better success with the franchisees? A before and after success story, he says.
So obviously we have many of those for those that have done the top performer blueprint and are recruiting using the blueprint. The SpotOn match is brand new. We launched it, 4 weeks ago. Many of you didn't even know it was even up because it was a very soft launch. We didn't do anything kind of crazy. So we're hoping to have those kinds of testimonials. I can tell you already, just as early as this has been, that we have franchisors who were not in your inventory before, who are now in your inventory because brokers are sending them leads and negotiating things. So they're open and they're receptive. We have franchisors that are so excited about this that they're asking to have what we call a recycle option, where with their own leads that they're getting, if this prospect is a poor fit, they want to feed those leads back to Zoracle, and then Zoracle will rematch them or provide them back to you guys for you guys to work with them. So, but yes, we have many franchisors who've been using the tool, and the claims are the same. It's faster ramp up time when you select the right franchisee. It's less cost to train and support them. It's greater retention, satisfaction scores tend to go up. So there's all kinds of great benefits that come from just being more picky about who you let into your franchise system, right? And this is why they're so highly dependent on you guys. They need you engaged and knowledgeable about what makes a good franchisee.
That's excellent, Rebecca. And then, one just last follow-up question is, and when you're developing, this model with the Zors, when you're coming up with this, what about a brand new brand? What data would you do if they just started franchising their concept and they want to go ahead and develop this tool to help them in their launching process?
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to an earlier question where you really have to, without all the data, it's much harder, right? Obviously, it's much harder.
Right.
So we're highly dependent on the leadership team, the business model they're using, the structure they're using, and doing some modeling, going to 26 years of research and looking at similar models and begin to do modeling. It's the same way they pick where they're going to put a location, what corner they're going to put it on. They're doing modeling, right, of some sort. So certain data
Absolutely.
that we can pull in that can help us craft that. But it's largely dependent on the concept originator and their overall business plan and the value package that they're bringing to the table. And then, of course, the stage of growth they're in, we already kind of know that. If they're baby Zors, we know they're a 1. And then, of course, we want to be looking at their future goals and strategies. So it's tough.
Great, Rebecca.
Tough. It's tough
Yeah,
with baby
it
Zors.
is. I mean, laying it against, industry standards and, looking at the management staff, making sure that they're able to carry out what matches, the standard of the norm. So you're right, it's very complex, but I think it would be a great tool for those starting to franchise their business. And Rebecca, we've got one final question. Well, really more of a comment. And it's Pamela. She says, thank you all caps. Really enjoyed the presentation. But she says she'd definitely like to hit a button for 5 more matches, just in case the original 5 matches don't have territory available. So, maybe looking at that is, 5 is the standard. Is it possible, is it conceivable that you could have like an additional 3 or something like that, like a program that they could, even add $10 more a month, so that can happen? Or is your algorithm, already developed and really needs to kind of stay what it is for now?
It's flexible. We can definitely do that. And the more you guys help us get these Zors on board, the more inventory that we have, more clients we have, more data we have, the more options we can give you, right? So I hear that feedback, Pamela, and I'm completely receptive to doing something like that. From a technological perspective, it's not that hard to do.
And Rebecca, do you have any incentives to the brokers or any of those that have joined the call, should they be able to secure or get you a Zor coming on board, and maybe a kickback for them at all?
Well, I'll give them a big hug the next time I see them. How's that for a reward?
I think that is a fantastic reward and incentive.
But also we do have a referral agreement with anyone that sends us a lead that ultimately we are able to close, and that is 10% of any revenue from that client for the life of that client. So if we upsell them, they don't just do the research, but we upsell them and they become a full-blown client, you will get 10% for the life of that client. And just so you know,
That's
kind of
an
financially what
incredible
that,
incentive.
it's an incredible incentive. We don't lose clients. So
No.
so just get us and make a solid introduction, right? And whether it's an email introduction or conference call, but a solid introduction, and we're happy to give out lots of hugs and also dollars.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I think that's all of our questions for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining this conference. If you have other questions or any follow-ups for Rebecca, please email her. She'd love to discuss at length your specific concerns. Obviously, this is a phenomenal program that's never been done before, and it is, just beautifully optimizing the business of business brokering, franchise broker sales.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Rebecca,
Holly.
any final words?
No. Thank you guys for taking the time out today. And if there's anything at all we can do, feel free to reach out to myself and or Phil, and we're happy to answer whatever questions you might have.
Bye, all.